Security agents in Lamu County are currently following up on the footsteps of Al-Shabaab. We do understand that there was an attack today in the afternoon. 3 people were killed in that particular attack on a bus at Nyongoro in Witu, Lamu County. That particular attack on the bus belonging to Kipini Raha Company on the Garsen-Lamu Highway occurred at about 3:30 p.m. We also do know that the terrorists shot randomly from the forest, killing the victims who were near the bus before police officers escorting the vehicle came to the passengers' rescue. Our coast reporter Francis Ontomwa has been following up on this particular story and now joins us this evening. Francis, what exactly do we know about this particular attack that we do know happened at about 3:30 p.m. And we do know that about 3 people lost their lives in that particular attack. This attack coming just a couple of days after the president was on a visit in that region. And he actually said that residents who are living near the Boni Forest may have to be relocated, and then this particular attack happens. And it's a concern, especially just 5 days to the general election, and with respect to the security of the residents there and the democratic right to cast their ballot on August 8th as Kenya decides who exactly will be the next president. And it also happening on a day when we had that presser by Interior Cabinet Secretary Fred Matiang'i talking about the security situation in the country and what they've put in place to ensure that this election will be secure for every single Kenyan. That is the story we are focusing on for you. So let me now speak to Francis Ontomwa, who's been covering this story for us. Ontomwa, good to speak to you this very sad evening, especially for the residents of Lamu. So apart from the fact that this attack happened at about 3:30 p.m., what else do we know?
Well, we've seen the official OB or police OB coming from Witu, and it indicates that, yes, that attack happened at around 3:40 p.m. and 5 people were injured. 2 ladies and 3 gentlemen were injured during that particular attack. Though at this particular moment, that OB is not talking anything about if there were any deaths, but residents says there were some 3 people who died, and these were border men. And this attack happened in a very interesting way because there was this particular bus, the Kipini bus, was under surveillance, or it had an escort, actually a police escort, but it looks like the distance between the bus and the police escort was quite huge because it happened a few moments before police now responded to try and see and handle that situation. During that particular moment, we are told that this gunmen, believed to be of Al-Shabaab militia group, sprayed bullets to Kipini bus, and this bus was headed from Malindi, headed to Kipini. Kipini is on the border of Tana River and Lamu, and of course, this now, of course, conjuring memories of what happened in the 2014 attack, where some 60 people had died around Mpeketoni area, in and outside and around Mpeketoni area, and therefore quite an unfortunate moment in Lamu County, Lamu West, experiencing the latest attacks, and this, of course, heading to the elections is quite a scare to many families. Of course, we understand that there are so many families already moving from those areas. We've been reporting actually of families moving from Lamu to other parts because of fear of these attacks. And being moments to the elections, of course, security apparatus are quite under pressure to be able to ensure that they restore security in that particular area, Linda.
Ontoma, listen, there was a curfew that was imposed in that particular area. And like you mentioned, this is coming 5 days to the general election. Is there any sort of an assurance that security officials there are giving the residents that they will be safe as they exercise their democratic right?
Well, the first and the most important assurance a couple of days ago came from the head of state, President Uhuru Kenyatta, when he toured Mpeketoni area, and he made quite an assurance saying that he will be taking charge, he will revenge on the Al-Shabaab militiamen who've been wreaking havoc in that part of Kenya. He also indicated that there was a plan to evacuate families living around the volatile Boni Forest so that police can go on with their operation. Therefore, at this particular moment, we are still waiting for official communication from security security apparatus to say and to give some assurance in that particular area, though we are yet to get that report. And it's also important to mention to you that there is another unconfirmed report, Linda, that touches on a vehicle believed to belonging to the Tana River County government that was also attacked around that particular area around 6 p.m. And it is said that there were 3 occupants in that particular vehicle, though it's not clear whether they were killed, but there are reports that it was torched. Those are reports coming from residents living around that area. Therefore, quite a bit of tension in that area, of course, calling for a lot of police action to be taken around that area to at least ensure and assure families around there that their lives are safer now that, of course, we are headed to the elections.
Of course, Francis, will get to confirm that second attack that you're talking about that happened at about 6 p.m. But like you mentioned, when President Uhuru Kenyatta was there, he said that there were plans to move the residents who were living close to Boni Forest away from it so that there could be an operation to flush out the Al-Shabaab militants. Do we know if these individuals have been moved?
Linda, if you ask me, it was quite a vague statement actually coming from the head of state, because it was not clear on whether actually the government had any frameworks or any mechanisms to ensure that they will move families from that area. And at this particular juncture, there are still families living around that area. There are those that are moving voluntarily from that particular section. And therefore, it's quite a mixed up situation in that part of Kenya. Of course, Lamu West looking like it's the one now getting the hit this time around, because it is the one experiencing most of these attacks, given that the northern part of Lamu seems to have taken quite a lull. And therefore, at this moment, what we know is that there are still families around there, and state machineries keep assuring our people around there that they'll be taking charge. But it looks like there is much more that indeed needs to be taken.
All right, Francis Ontomwa, thank you so much for that update on the latest attack that happened in Lamu. He says there was another attack at 6 p.m. We are yet to confirm that he's working on that. Once he confirms that, of course, we will let you know. So let's keep an eye on that particular story. But then Acting Interior Cabinet Secretary Fred Matiang'i also had a presser today in the afternoon, and